Dr. Peter Navarro, we got a little tee up. We're going to have you back at 11. Spend some time with you. Give me your assessment of yesterday.
Uplifting, moving. I think it was just pitch perfect in terms of the celebration. I think everybody who spoke, Steve, spoke from the heart and hit their mark. And I think I needed that. I think the country needed that. I think the world needed that. And it was a day of grace, sir.
Peter Navarro, I've known you for a long time now, and you're a pretty hard nut, pretty tough guy. The book, we'll talk about the book in the next segment, about going to prison. You're 70-some years old. You didn't flinch at all, and you were a leader in the prison. Nobody's going to mess with you. Why, you of all people, say you, Peter Navarro, needed yesterday, sir?
Charlie was such a good friend and such an important part of what you and I and President Trump are trying to do in terms of helping this country get to a better place, a place where we're free, we don't wind up in prison because of our political points of view, and we live in a world where Main Street prospers as well as Wall Street, not a battle. And Charlie was so important to that. And to lose him in this way, I was thinking that if somebody were to ask me, like, okay, who would you lose to the crazies out there, the assassins and all of that? I mean, Charlie would never enter my mind because he was so full of life and intelligence, and to lose him like that to that thing that shot him, and that's a thing. That's a brainwashed, groomed, just lack of humanity thing. We needed to heal from that, and since he's been shot, it's hard to find one's center, but I think we found it yesterday, and now for Charlie, we need to move on and fight the battle that he was so good at fighting, Steve.
Today, I want to ask every person in this arena and the millions more watching around the world, will you make sure that we continue to build upon what Charlie Kirk started? I want to ask each and every one of you today, if you believe in America, stand up. If you believe Charlie Kirk represented the best of us, stand up. If you believe in the power of Charlie Kirk, his mission, his courage, his conviction, stand up. Charlie, we miss you. We love you. We wish you were here with us today. We will never forget you. Rest in peace, my brother.
Sergio Gore right there, not particularly well known to the public, but was a Grundoon. He and Stephen Miller were two Grundoons on the staff of Michelle Bachmann when I met them, I don't know, a decade ago. Oh, in the summer of, when was it? The spring of 2010, when I made a film about Michelle Bachmann and Phyllis Schlafly and other women of the Tea Party movement called Fire from the Heartland. And he was the comms director at the time. Now he's the head of White House personnel. Peter, the reason I played that, people don't realize, I think, enough the role that Charlie Kirk played on the transition. I mean, Peter Navarro knows this better than anyone because Peter Navarro has been with President Trump since, I think, early 2016, late 2015, early 2016. But President Trump and Jared were obviously familiar with your work before then about China and about manufacturing. But you know better than anybody how important it is to get MAGA-type people that think in the MAGA philosophy, into the White House, into the agencies. And Sergio Gore, Charlie on transition, and Charlie in the in up until a week ago was absolutely essential. Working with Sergio is just an outside advisor on vetting people and make sure we got the right people in there. And you saw it every day. I know it's been one of your big things that you've always said, hey, you got to get the right people in these slots. Your thoughts, sir?
Steve, the last time Bonnie and I saw Charlie, it was just a week or so before he was brutally assassinated. And where did we see him? Right in Sergio Gore's office on the second floor of the West Wing. And Sergio and Charlie were joined at the hip, but when the president won the election and we go into that period known as the transition, that's where the dictum personnel as policy really comes into play with a vengeance, because in the first term in 45 we did a horrible job. Let's just say what it was. We got bad personnel who wanted to make bad policy contrary to President Trump's agenda. You know, Mattis, Tillerson, Mnuchin, Cohn, I mean, just a whole list of bad guys. We weren't going to make that mistake again, and President Trump entrusted two people, not one, but two, to make sure that we did it right this time. One of them was Sergio Gore, the director of personnel, but the other was Charlie Kirk. And when you said, I had to smile a little bit when you said Charlie on the outside. Well, Charlie was on the inside as well as the outside, and that's how. That last time it was just natural going in. Hey, Charlie, what's up, brother? Now that's not happening. I think it hit Sergio hard, but he rose to the occasion like so many of the speakers did yesterday, sir. And they got it done.
Yeah. Dr. Navarro, in this inflection point, Obama says it, Bannon says it, so many people, we're in an inflection point right now in American history. We're going to go one way or the other. Why now is it important for this audience to get your book, to read it, to think about it, and to share it with people, sir?
Steve, I went to prison so you won't have to is a tale about the weaponization of our government by partisan interests. And I was thinking about your cold open, and when you say we're going medieval on them, I don't know if it's time to go medieval on them, but it's damn well time to go Old Testament on them. And I went to prison so you won't have to is Old Testament style, calling for accountability. I called it the sixth stage of grief we're going to have to go through with Charlie Kirk, accountability. And what I went to prison so you won't have to is about is a long journey I took. You took it with me on separate tracks. Defense of the Constitution, defense of executive privilege, under attack purely by partisan interests. Everybody who put you and I in prison, Steve, was a Democrat, from the Congress itself to those who were at the justice system, to the jury, even to the appeals court. And the punchline of I went to prison so you won't have to is simply that if we don't hold them accountable, they're going to do it again. And just who are the them are. See, that's the beauty of I went to prison so you won't have to. It names names. I mean, if you start with who put me, for example, into prison, it started with an arrest at Reagan Airport of me and my fiancée, Bonnie. I call her Pixie in the book. She writes many of the chapters. It's in diary form. And the guy who was responsible for 5 armed FBI agents inside the gangway, taking me down, perp walking her, putting me in handcuffs, putting me in leg irons, putting me in John Hinckley's cell. There's a funny chapter called The Ghost of John Hinckley. You can read that in the book. Walter Giardina. And what's interesting about my case is it's a microcosm of everything they did to everybody else that are near and dear to you and me, Steve, whether it's you going to prison Rudy going bankrupt, John Eastman, Jeff Clark losing their law licenses, 4 attempts on Donald Trump to put him in prison, 2 assassination attempts, and now, of course, the awful, brutal assassination of Charlie Kirk. I mean, the them are those who are in power, who will use whatever powers they have to do that to us. And what I'm calling for in I Went to Prison So You Won't Have to is for the book to be a wake-up call, Steve. A wake-up call that if they can do that to us the way they're doing it, from bankruptcy and prison to a horrible assassination, then if we don't hold them accountable for that, they're going to do it again. And in 2026, if the Democrats get back control of the House, you know damn well exactly what they're going to do because we know what they did before. It's going to be impeachment, impeachment, impeachment. There's going to be Russia hoax, Russia hoax, Russia hoax. And the beauty of I Went to Prison So You Won't Have to is this guy, Walter Giardina. He's the thing, the thread that's woven through the whole plot against Donald Trump and the rest of us. Because it was Giardina who not only put me in leg irons, he was the guy, Steve, who allegedly, according to FBI whistleblowers, greenlit the Steele dossier, the fake Clinton document, which got the whole Russia hoax going and begat Crossfire Hurricane. That's the guy who put me in prison. He was also responsible for other operations. He was on the Mueller report. For 8 years, Steve, you and I have watched Democrats in power try to overthrow the government of Donald Trump or interfere with his election.
Finally, but Trump finally, he must have read your book, the president, because finally on Friday he had enough of it. Or was it Saturday? He put out, "Hey Pam, love you, baby, but nothing happening on this stuff." And he made it. I think it was Halligan. He made a decision. He got rid of the guy in they got rid of the guy in Eastern District, and put Mary Halligan in there. And he literally went through chapter and verse, kind of the guy's talking about. I just want to make sure everybody understands something. Peter Navarro was the senior advisor to President Trump, and one of the central reasons his philosophy and understanding of China is one of the reasons President Trump won in 2016. He then was in the government, and this brother fought every day for the American worker, every day, and for this country, against the Gary Cohns and the Mnuchins and all the globalists. Every day, Peter Navarro is in the cockpit fighting. What is his reward for that? What is his reward for that? In Reagan National Airport, one of the most crowded of so many prominent people going around, they drag him and his girlfriend, or his fiance now, they drag him off a plane about to board, right? Knowing they could have done anything, gone to his lawyer, anything, dragged him off on the causeway, shackled him like a murderer. By the way, something they didn't do to the kid in Utah. He was never shackled coming in, and then put him in leg irons on the causeway to humiliate him. And to show you what's in store for you, big guy, and all the people around you, if you're going to defy us. The guy that did that should be in prison now. This is why the book's going to infuriate you, and this is why you need to read it and think about it, because they're coming for you. The point of Navarro's book ain't about him. It's not about Bonnie. Peter Navarro's tough enough. Steve Bannon's tough enough. We can go back to prison. Trust me. We'll be fine. It's you. And if you don't think they're coming for you, you are absolutely dead wrong. In 26 or 28, and that's why it has to be you say accountability. I understand that. You're in the White House. You need to do that. I'm for much more than accountability. We have to take this thing apart brick by brick, and we have to do it now. And finally, President Trump, God bless him, had a belly full of it, all the excuses, all the tapping along, which I've been saying, you're getting tapped along, and boom, drop the hammer and say, hey, look, I love you. But, hey, these guys are still walking the face of the earth. Why? And I'm going to start putting some people in there if you don't. So get on the program, and get on the program now. Trump's got the weight of the world on his shoulders. Somebody's got to step up and do what I gave. Why did I, at the Student Action Summit in July in Tampa, talk about this very topic? It has to happen now. For the president, for the country, and for you, this audience. Peter Navarro. We're going to spend an hour tomorrow, and I'm going to play the book talk, the C-SPAN. But ours will be a little more, it'll be, let's say this will be more exciting. I'll get worked up for an hour. 6 o'clock tomorrow night on War Room. Where do people get the book, sir? And where do we find out? Our launch in New York was canceled because of Charlie. But we're gonna redo something in New York or DC or something. We'll get organized on that. But where do people go today to order this incredible book?
See, yeah, I want to put out the bat signal, the Posse. Posse, I need you right now. Right now. Go to Amazon.com, buy I Went to Prison So You Won't Have to. Because it is our wake-up call. It's what we have to explain to the American people, that if we don't hold them accountable, they're going to go after us. Again, I went to prison, so you won't have to. Pretty simple. Amazon. I know the power of the War Room. And what I'd like you to do when you go to Amazon, go there and look at what the rank is right now. That's part of like the page, right? And then buy the book. And then in about, 8 hours, because it takes a little bit of time, go back and look at that. And if that thing's not down to the top 10 books, then the Posse is sleeping too much, and they need to get out and help out, because this book isn't about me. Steve said this. It's not about the woman I love so dearly, who they perp walked and treated so fairly. It's about you. It's about this country. It's about holding these people accountable. And Steve, just to be clear, so you don't think I'm going soft on you, when I say hold them accountable, I mean it's put the son of a bitches in prison if the evidence is there to support what you and I know to be our allegations, which appear to be 100% true. And we know who needs to start going to prison. We know. I mean, it's like everybody who was involved.
But the weight of the world's on his shoulders.
Trump down and going after you and I and everybody else on our side. Every one of them.
Hey, the way of the world on his shoulders. He finally had a belly full of it. And said, "Hey, look, you're not going to read my inner office memo, so I'll put it on True Social." Note to self: what does he put at the end? Appreciate the attention to this matter. Peter Navarro, where's social media? Where do people get you, sir?
PeterNavarro.substack.com. Real P Navarro on X. Kind of when I say that, but it's out there. I'm a getter and on True Social. Yep. But today, Posse, just Amazon. I Went to Prison So You Won't Have to. A Love and Lawfare. Sir, I buried the lead, Steve. How did we get through the segment here without mentioning this great guy named Steve Bannon wrote the foreword to I Went to Prison So You Won't Have to. Buy the book just to read his foreword.
Tomorrow night at 6 here on the War Room, our 6 o'clock show. Dr. Navarro and I spent an hour going through the book. Thank you, brother. Thank you for making this happen today.